With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, quarterback, Southern California.
There he is, a Detroit cheer for Caleb Williams, hugging his family, and he is the first overall pick in the NFL Draft. Kid who went from Oklahoma to USC when his coach Lincoln Riley went there. Followed him to USC, immediately won a Heisman Trophy. This past year wasn't the way he wanted it to go in terms of wins and losses and things of that nature, but his talent is undeniable.
And welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Student Body Rights USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR, my Twitter handle. Just went to see the Padres and Reds today. So it was a nice little day out there. Always a perfect day to watch a little baseball. We'll talk a little football now with Coach B, and I'll talk about USC real quick. And the guy in the middle of the screen behind your head, I want to hear your thoughts about him receiving what was rightfully his last week.
So let's put a spotlight on it really quick. I thought it was amazing. You know what I mean? I thought that, bringing Reggie home was important. You know what I mean? I don't know if you remember that game. You probably do. When we got a 15-yard penalty because what running back was that? He scored and gave Reggie a hug, and the ref threw a 15-yard penalty on us.
They gave him a hug. I think I remember that.
I think it was Barlow. I forget what running back it was. When Reggie was calling one of our games. 2 years ago, it was the first season of Lincoln. But I think honestly, look, we needed this, right? I think it was good for us. I think it was good for him. I think that getting him back in the family, we always felt incomplete, right? It always felt incomplete. It always felt like we were missing something. Yeah. You know what I mean? It always felt like there was a part of us that wasn't there. You know what I mean? And it's a big stain on college football not having him there. You know what I mean? Like it just is. We can't move around it. We can't hide from it and say, with the Johnny Manziel documentary that came out, and you see all that he was doing while he was in college and all this stuff that's going on, and all these coaches are like, I don't know if you've seen what Musk said the other day, but he's like, it's been NIL in the SEC. So he's been saying it. So to me, man, I just felt like bringing Reggie home was the best thing to do. I think that him leading us out the tunnel. I think that's the one thing. We've had all these players. Can you imagine Reggie leading us out the tunnel in a big game? We had Michigan in the big house, and he was leading us out the tunnel at a night game. That would have been crazy. I mean, Michigan at home.
I think we got to save it for the Penn State game. I think we got to save it for Penn State.
We don't get them at home because on our original schedule before Oregon and Washington came, we had them at the Coliseum, right? That would have been amazing. But obviously, we get Reggie for the. I think we should. So, my opinion, I think we should have some type of ceremony honor Reggie week 1.
Yeah,
and then we have him bring us on the tunnel against Penn State.
Yeah. It gotta be against a big opponent.
Right.
Has to be. USC quarterback Caleb Williams goes first to the Bears. We know that. We knew. I knew it from the Notre Dame game. The first Notre Dame game that he played. So I think he's going into a great situation. I personally would have liked to see them. I love Rome Odunze, but I would like to see him go tackle there. And then because they already have 2 weapons as it is, they have Cole Kmet, they have all that. But he talked a little bit about the situation he said setting himself into because he looks like on the outside that they're going into a good situation. I just worry about the head coach, and the Bears have not done a good job of raising young quarterbacks.
Right. Well, I like the only reason why I like the situation is because you have Shane Waldron. Shane Waldron, the same guy who got Geno Smith. You know what I mean? I think it was most improved player or something like that, or comeback player of the year, because he got Geno his best year, right? Shane's gonna be able to move the pocket. If you look at Seattle, the last couple of years, you can look at and see what he did for Geno. He can do a lot of that for Caleb. Seattle didn't have the best line, not even on the interior. So I get the point, right? Because you got you got Commit, you got Keenan Allen, you got DJ Moore. You know what I mean? You could have definitely not had to go roam there and could have went tackle at that spot and helped out as much as possible. And I think that's it just worries me because that tells me you're trying to rely a little bit on Caleb's Houdini tactics, right? And that's not what you want to do. Reel him in, let him play within the system.
He doesn't want to do that.
He's
talking about it.
Yeah, let him play within the system. But now you're telling me this is what you're about to do, right? This is what you're about to do by not drafting the tackle. Although I'm not mad at the situation he went into. I don't think it was the best situation he could have went into. I think that's reserved for JJ McCarthy. But I think that in his situation, if that defense plays up to how it played the last 5 weeks of last season, if it plays like that, then I think he's gonna be. I think they'll be fine because you'll finally have a defense that can hold their own, and he's not pressured to play mistake-free football. You know what I mean? He can just go out there, let it rip. He can make his mistakes because he's gonna make the rookie mistakes. And I'm not looking for him to have a CJ Stroud type of year. I'm looking to have a solid year. I think he can put up more than 30 touchdowns, right, and break their record for 30 touchdowns in the season.
They've never had that, or is it they haven't had 3,000 yards either?
No, it's 4,000 yards. So it's 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, which is wild, right? Because Jay Cutler was there. So you think they had a 4,000-yard season with Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall, but they never had it. So,
never had it. So.
I mean, to me, I think that while I'm kind of with you, I wish they could have went tackle, but giving him another weapon, giving him another out, right? Another big body receiver, it doesn't hurt either. For the long term, we've seen this before, right? Jamar Chase instead of Penei Sewell, right? I'm not saying that Rome's gonna be Jamar Chase, but in the scenario fits, in my opinion.
As far as that goes, yeah, 100%. As far as the draftees go for USC, who do you feel like had the best situation to walk it into besides Caleb? I love Caleb Bullock's spot too. I'm going to Houston.
Caleb Bullock and Marshawn Lloyd. You get Marshawn Lloyd, he can split carries with Brandon Jacobs. Sorry, split carries with Brandon Jacobs. He can learn a little bit. You know what I mean? Ball security. I'm sorry, not Brandon Jacobs. Josh Jacobs. Because and Josh, he's not a guy who puts the ball on the ground a lot, so he can help him with his ball security issues. But I do like Kalen. Like Kalen, man, I wanted Kalen so bad. Like I mock Kalen to me every time. I would reach for Kalen, right? Because I think Kalen is just one of those guys who can play true center field. And now that he's a true center fielder, I think that because you got, I think they got Petrie still over there. So now you got Kalen who can play true center field, right? And that's just going to help him out because Petrie can be like Hufanga was in the Niners when D'Amico had Hufanga. That's going to be how you can use Jalen Petrie and have a true center fielder over the top that can erase people's mistakes because that's what you want Caleb Bullock to do.
And I think that I'm not sure how about Taj, but I do know that I do feel like on your team on the Chargers that Brendan Rice, it's an open opportunity. And I think in college football they don't run a lot of slants, so like he can be big in the slant game,
right.
and sluggo routes especially.
Right.
He could be nice in that. And he's a willing blocker in an offense where they want to do that as well. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. But I think one thing is pretty clear to me, and this is not a knock on Jaden Daniels, but since he has slept foot in Baton Rouge, he's had a pretty nice allotment of NFL talented receivers. Mm-hmm. You see where his receivers went in the drafts, and you see where Caleb Williams' receivers went in the draft. So let's just like I know folks want to make it seem like it's like like the missing piece for USC was obviously Jordan Addison. I mean offensively. Yeah, I mean he needed that one guy. I mean, and it only took one. It didn't take three because when Jaden got there, it was Butte, it was Thomas, and it was Neighbors. So yeah, he had plenty of people to throw the football to. So as far as that goes, just in case people like want to keep bringing that up as far as that goes.
Also think that you brought up Taj, right? Now I was skeptical about Taj going to Miami. And I was like, man, in Miami, I don't think that's a good fit because they got all these other receivers. They got other guys. And one of the Miami fans I was talking to, one of my guys, shout out Reggie, he was like, he's telling take Braxton Berrios' spot. He can do everything Braxton Berrios can do. And I didn't think about it like that. Like, he's in the slot. Braxton Berrios is in the slot. Taj is definitely a better route runner than Braxton Berrios. And he knows how to get open, right? He's one of those guys who just gets open. And Taj can be that guy, whether it's a third or fourth receiver. Taj can be that guy and get open. I didn't even think about it like that, but when he said it, I'm like, man, that is true. That's a great spot for him to be in.
Yeah, no question about it. No question about it. I think I like it too. What do you so Derek Harmon, right? Derek Harmon. I just have to, my only question to him is, like, the money obviously is close between Colorado and USC.
Right.
NIL money.
Right.
Like, and I understand that you got Eric Henderson versus Warren Sapp. I mean, one guy is a proven defensive coach, and somebody, and the guy he's a proven player, but he hasn't done it as a coach yet. I just don't understand, like, with all this drama and all this social media ridiculousness that's going on with Shedeur and Dion, like, this really would be a kick in the gut punch for USC if they didn't bag this guy. If it's only two guys, if it's between USC and Colorado, because Colorado come off a 4-win season, yeah, they'll be better, but, like, I mean, who knows the longevity of Deion Sanders at Colorado as well? Like, I mean, I just feel like it's not like, and I'm not one to have the cardinal and gold sunglasses on, but I just feel like it's not the most stable football universe out there in Colorado.
Well, so here's what I'll say, and I've had to take a step back, right? Again, taking off our cardinal and gold shades, right?
Yeah.
The thing about it is that these kids live in that social media era. So while we don't think it's bad, while we think it's like, this is terrible for football, right? While we may think that, these kids don't. They don't think about it like that, right? They don't think anything of what Deion's doing right now, right? So they're gonna look at the glitz and the glamour. I don't even think it's about coaching, right? Because to me, Warren was one of the greatest D linemen I've ever seen, right? However, he was a freakish athlete. He didn't use technique. He was not a technique guy. So most
really good head coaches are not the freak athletic guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, like, while I sit there, I'm like, him considering Colorado is less about development and more about what I can get.
Yes, he wants to get some out of it.
Yeah. So that's why, to me, it's not as big as a gut punch to us, right? Because you got to have guys who want to develop and play at the next level. Who want to, if you look at both situations and you don't look at a guy who's coached Aaron Donald and Kobe Turner and these guys and made these guys, I mean, I won't say he didn't make Aaron Donald, but definitely made Kobe Turner, right? Definitely made him into a great player. And you don't want to see the development there, especially with Coach Nua still there too. I just don't. It's less about development, and like I said, what you want to get out of it, what you want to get right now. It's about immediate returns. So it's not as big as a gut punch to me, because, like I said, they're not concerned with social media. They live in the social media era. To them, it might be cool with them to see a coach fire back at somebody. Like, yeah, I'm a ride for my coach. Look what he'll do. Look, you feel what I'm saying? It might be
firing back at kids. For firing back at 18-year-old kids. It might be like, oh yeah, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Yeah, that's crazy.
For us, it's like we talked about it all day in the space this morning. In Gridiron Bullies, like, that's a terrible move. To me, as a coach, I would never do that. Yeah. But I'm not one of those coaches who even like my kids on social media. We monitor. I don't like that. That's like, I come up from an era like that loses you money.
And think about it too, like, we all know Isaiah Rakes most likely, because they have the rule you can't transfer from SEC school to SEC school.
Right.
That he used USC in that process, and Lincoln Riley didn't want to talk about it and didn't go into it, and he was just, you could tell he was really angry about it. but he didn't go out and go after Isaiah Riggs.
Right.
Yeah, which he could have, but he obviously did not go do that.
Yeah, and I mean, and look, he had every right to. He could have shined the spotlight that actually could have changed something in the game, but he did it, right? The thing about it is, like, I look at it and I'm saying prime, and don't get me wrong, Deion is my favorite player ever.
Yes, a lot of people,
right?
Yeah.
He's my favorite player ever. Like,
yeah.
I wanted him to succeed at Colorado, just not against USC. It's really that simple.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I got a pair of primetime shades. I bought them. I did. Like, I got their blenders. I like them. I wear them all the time.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, when it comes to coaching, I feel like he's what there's a couple things that's going on. He's running it like an AAU program, right? He's bringing guys in. They're getting the job off day one, off the rip. There's no competition. This guy has the job. You know what I mean? That was a rumor why Dylan Edwards left. They brought in the running back from Ohio State. There wasn't a competition for that job. And then they said, oh, we want you to compete. No, that's not competing. You give a guy a job so you can afford. I've been here. I've been loyal to you. You know what I mean? So to me, I look at it like, I don't think it's a good look, but with a guy coming there and he's picking, if he's choosing to pick there, it's not about development. Yeah. It isn't.
No.
You got a bunch of rah-rah guys in it. Deion, he was a tactician, freakish athlete, and a tactician, right? But he's a rah-rah guy. Warren Sapp, he's a rah-rah guy. He don't give you the speeches, wrong, right, wrong, or indifferent, right? I don't think, in my opinion, I have to see it. But for right now, Warren Sapp is not a tactician when it comes to teaching a position.
Yeah, he's not.
You know what I mean?
He's
not there. They
not.
got Loho on the other side. That's a tactician. Loho had to learn the game and be technical at his craft as the offensive line. I don't think that's Warren Sapp. So to me, I'm gonna wait and see approach, right? But if they're choosing there with other schools that have other proven coaches, that's all it is. That's really all it is.
And I think what you're saying too is like they're basically showing you who they really are.
Yeah.
By picking Colorado. Like, you know what I mean? They really are showing you who they are by picking Colorado, because maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, they got a winning track record, but like you're really doing a lot for some sunglasses and a check. So right. Like, you know what I mean? So like, you know, as far as that goes, shout out to Blenders. Blenders is a San Diego based company. And so they also right now, Danny Salali is from BYU, 6'3", 355. I mean, at this point, like I just need somebody who can just hold the line. Like I'm not even asking. Like I mean, like if we can't get, obviously the playmaker is who you want. Like first and foremost, you want the elite athlete playmaker who you want. But at this point, like I'd be on his phone too, because you have to like get something going on, because like they cannot. This is the difference between them going 8-4 and then playing in the Big 12 championship, because a lot of the pieces on that defense are there. Just need they need a couple of big guys up front.
Well, I'm good with the kid from BYU too, because to me, listen. We don't need a playmaker at that position.
It's NT.
We need somebody who can just plug the gaps.
Yes.
100%. And let the linebackers flow and do their job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in our best years, we had guys, don't get me wrong, we had guys who can make plays. But even in our best years, the focus is still on who? The linebackers.
Yeah.
Right? Even when we had Frosty, you know what I mean? Kichi, Udesi, we had Sean Cody. We had the line, Mike Patterson. We had the line. Our linebackers were still the focus, though.
Yeah. Why?
Because plug the gap, we'll make it happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Play your gap, we'll make it happen. Just do your job. Well, now that's what we need. That's why I'm not mad at the guy from BYU. Bring him in. You know what I mean? Let him plug the gap. That's all we need. Plug the A gap, sir. Let our linebackers flow. Keep the guards off of Mason Cobb. Keep the guards off of Eric Gentry. Yeah. Keep the guards off these guys.
Let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go to their spots. Yeah, perfect. No, I agree with 100%. I mean that's the only guy on the list I'm looking at all the DTs. who are because you need somebody in this offense. You need somebody who's 300 pounds, and well over 300 pounds. I don't see it. I don't see a guy right now, who fits that. I mean, there are some big boys in here, but but they gotta do something. I mean, and if you don't get him, you can at least get a couple of them.
Right.
A couple of them. Split that money up. Lafati left, so like he went into the portal as well. So if they're in there now, so once they're in, they can do what they need to do. They just have to get in there before that certain date, as far as that goes. Anything else right now? Because I mean, it's really right now it's a little bit of a dead period right now, but we're quiet. We're quiet. We're just waiting to see what happens. Wait to see what happens with these defensive tackles. They signed a kicker. They also signed Kyle Ford. Kyle Ford came back. They should be good now because they also picked up the kid from
Auburn, the receiver from Auburn.
Fair.
Yeah.
So he's the guy who's supposed to take the defense out, take top off the defense. I kind of feel like sometimes I know he likes to have depth there, and you probably should, because I mean, let's face it, like dudes get hurt. So sometimes I wish he would just ride the hot hand a little bit on the on the wide receiver core. Like, but I mean, but he's not. It's not the NFL. Like, if people see you play everybody, they're more likely to come.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's the game.
Yeah, that's the game. That's the game. That's all the game is. That's all the game is.
That's the game. And it's not like we can have. I mean, when you get your guy, like when Brendan was there, we knew what Brendan was going to do. He was going to be on the outside. He was going to work. Yeah. You had Addison. He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Right. Mario Williams couldn't hold on to the ball, so he left. Sad to see him go, but that's what it was. Yeah. Right. We needed more from him. And I think this year we're gonna have to find a guy. Who's it gonna be? You know what I mean? It's gonna be Lane. It's gonna be Hudson. You know what I mean? Who's it gonna be?
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see who happens there. I think the big play guys are gonna be Deuce and Jacoby. But when you need that 8 yards, first, if that 3rd and 8, you need 9 yards, it's gonna be Makai. I think Makai's gonna be that. He's a gnat. Yeah. He got that Amanu Ra, man. He got a little nasty streak in him. Trust me, he got that little face. I see him play on the field, man. He's ready to go and have a huge year for USC.
And we can't forget about our guys, Zach Brandt. Like, Zach's still here.
Yeah, Zach's still here.
We're talking about all these players, and just haven't mentioned Branch yet.
That's why they just give me the DT cousin, because the offense is ready, dude. The offense, even without Caleb, the offense is ready with either quarterback. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So they have so many weapons on this offense that the Big Ten is not. The Big Ten DBs are not ready for. And we're cooking. So I don't know. Did they ever? One last thing. Did they ever? Remember the Penn State had their top receiver go out? Did he get picked up by anybody yet? The top receiver?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it.
I guess let me just second.
I know they lost both corners, and
I think USC is done. I just haven't seen. I know he went in. Maybe he went in and went back out. If you're in the comments, go ahead and throw that out there. But I know Penn State had one of the top receivers in the country go into the portal. I don't know if I don't see him on the list on 24/7. So he might have went back in as far as that goes. All right, Trojans. We'll see you. We'll see you next time. We'll get some stuff on there. Working on some guests, man. Working on some guests because we gotta get some guests up on here. For y'all to talk to get you to September 1st. You know what I mean? Because there's a long time before September 1st because it's only May 1st right now. All right, Coach B, thank you for your time, brother.
All right, sir.
Take care.
Appreciate it.